Without a doubt, we're going to be stuck playing Grand Theft Auto 6 for 10 to 15 years, and maybe even more. Yeah, that's probably not what you want to hear. Aside from the obvious fact that you and I don't want to play the exact same Grand Theft Auto game for 20 years, from a business point of view, it doesn't make sense either. Why would Rockstar even want to do this? They could make way more money if they just pumped out games over and over again. GTA 5 is still selling 20 million copies a year. I couldn't even believe it when I read it. And although releasing a new game every year is unrealistic, every 5 years is certainly doable, and they'd be raking in billions. Call of Duty constantly releases the same garbage, but still manages to be the best-selling game every year, so why not do the same? And then it hit me. All the other companies pretend they're doing all they can to make a good game while realistically just being lazy because they know they can still sell copies. But on the other hand, Rockstar actually wants to make improvements and only release 10 out of 10 games. Not because they're some ethically sound company who wants us all to have a bunch of fun. I'm not delusional. But while all these other companies have been profiting off of garbage that at one point or another is gonna all come crashing down, Rockstar is playing the long game. Their marketing strategy, the one where all they have to do is release a couple trailers, that'll come to an end if they even release one flop of a game. This random YouTube comment probably sums it up best. People are forgetting this is a multi-billion-dollar franchise. They literally invent new tech entirely for these games. That's why it takes so long. Rockstar actually knows how to spend the money properly. They don't have to spend millions on ads, and yet everyone and their dog knows GTA 6 is coming out next year. Their rep is just that strong. Rockstar's in a unique position where they don't have to release games all the time. They have billions to play with and can afford to take their time. Not many other companies have this luxury. For most of us, Grand Theft Auto 6 is an automatic buy, even if it's going to cost us $200, because we trust that the game is going to be phenomenal, and we don't want to watch all of our friends have fun without us. But the second Rockstar mixes themselves in with literally every other gaming company that does little to innovate or improve from one release to the next, they're going to lose that customer trust, and that automatic buy without hesitation that I was just talking about, that could all go away. Maybe it wouldn't happen immediately. They could still sell a bunch of copies of a trashy game. I mean, people hate Ghosts, but it's still one of the best-selling games in the Call of Duty franchise. However, eventually, the laziness would catch up to them, and it ruins Rockstar's reputation not only for Grand Theft Auto, but also for the other big series like Red Dead Redemption. This is a huge part of the reason it took so long for GTA 6, and why it's probably going to take longer for GTA 7. After releasing GTA 5, Rockstar took a look at the technology, the Xbox One and the PS4, and kind of came to the conclusion that, this hardware isn't good enough for us to release a new Grand Theft Auto on. We're not going to be able to make that big of a jump in graphics and other gameplay mechanics. We don't want to ruin our reputation, so let's just wait it out. Hence why development for Grand Theft Auto 6 finally began around the same time that the PS5 released. After they saw the specs, it gave Rockstar some confidence that these consoles were actually worth making a game for. Now, it's not to say this is the only reason. Rockstar, of course, still has their own version of laziness, releasing the exact same game on 3 different console generations, but it has done very well for them. I mean, personally, I've bought it on 2 different Xboxes, and then I went and bought it on PC, so the same thing's gonna happen with GTA 6, which is another reason it's gonna be around for a long time. They also had Red Dead 2 come out in the middle of all this, and they had to dedicate some resources over there. However, there's something else that probably most of you have had in the back of your mind while watching this video, wondering when I'm gonna mention it. Well, that time is here. At first, when I thought about 15 years of GTA 6 and came to the reality that it was likely gonna happen, I became pretty worried for the future. And my reason for this, I think, will make a lot of you mad, so controversial take here. I've always thought the single player for Grand Theft Auto 5 was great, but to be perfectly honest, I've never really found the online to be anything that special. The reason I say this is because it's going to be a long 20 years if GTA 6 Online is just a copy and paste of GTA 5 Online. I've talked about this a couple times in my videos, so I'm not going to dwell on it for too long. It's not to say I hate online, because I don't, but you know how people talk about the 2-week Minecraft phase? That's kind of how I always felt about GTA Online. My friends and I would play for a week or two once a year, but there's just better multiplayer experiences out there. Even when the game first came out, aside from a couple of heists, nothing really stood out to me as that impressive or anywhere near the same quality as the story missions. It's a tired old point nowadays. I mean, I'm sure you guys have had these thoughts, or you've heard countless other people say that GTA Online's repetitive, but At the end of the day, it's hard to argue with statistics. And statistics are pointing towards the fact that because of the huge success of GTA 5 Online, Rockstar is probably going to try to milk GTA 6 Online as much as they can. I mean, it's much easier and cheaper to add content to a pre-existing game than to make an entirely new one. Which again, is another reason why Rockstar doesn't want to constantly release GTA games. Splitting up employees between maintaining the current title's online mode and then having some of them working on an entirely new game, it's going to hurt both games and make people less likely to spend money on GTA. If you know that there's going to be a new game soon, why would you spend money on the old one? But it's not all bad news, and I don't think GTA 6 Online is going to suffer the same fate of being boring and repetitive. Something I found interesting when looking back in time is that the multiplayer for the Xbox 360 and the PS3 versions of GTA 5 stopped receiving updates in September 2015. This was pretty much 2 years after the game release, due to those older consoles just not having the hardware to keep up with future plans, and realistically also so that people would buy copies on the next-gen consoles. But the reason I mention this is the Take-Two CEO, which is the company that owns Rockstar, pretty much said that they didn't expect the success of GTA Online.
Now, GTA Online, it became a massive success immediately. Did you expect it to...
No, I don't think any of us did.
But you mix that in with the fact that they are also held back for 2 years due to the old consoles, so GTA Online got off to a really slow start, with Rockstar having to scramble to figure out how to run it properly. Which is why you can see how I'm a little bit more optimistic for GTA 6 Online, even if we're going to be playing it for 20 years. Rockstar knows that it's a huge success now, and they've been planning for it. We now have consoles with over 30 times the amount of RAM and 30 times the amount of GPU capabilities when you compare them to the consoles that GTA 5 was released on. I mean, they spent $1 billion frickin' dollars developing this game. Even more comparisons, you had 1,000 people working on GTA 5, there's over 4,000 working on GTA 6. They've had 12 years to sit on ideas, they've had 12 years to study what's worked well in other games. We had Rockstar buying 5M, which pretty much confirms roleplay servers. We have crossplay becoming the industry standard, so you're finally going to be able to play with all your friends and have a lot more fun. Past that, we also know that GTA 6 map is going to be huge, which gives them a lot of area to work with for GTA Online updates. And this should hopefully give us different storylines depending on what part of the maps you're in, also meaning that we're going to get to interact with a bunch of different characters. So, while it is extremely likely that we're going to be playing GTA 6 for years to come, I think the game's going to have a lot better longevity than GTA 5 did. There's no chance they copy and paste GTA 5 Online into 6 because it would lose them so much money and respect, with people getting bored of it way too quickly. And sure, at some point along the way, people are going to get bored of GTA 6. It just happens with every game. But with the sheer amount of content that we can expect from Rockstar, and then you add on top the community being given the ability to make custom game modes and roleplay servers, I think we're looking at something pretty good. Like I said, GTA 5 being around for so long kind of made me dislike the game, but for GTA 6, it'll be different. And if you're still not convinced, let me offer some additional proof that, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised nobody is talking about. There was an interesting Bloomberg article from a couple years ago that I'm going to read a little bit from. Original plans for Grand Theft Auto 6, codenamed Project Americas, were for it to be more vast than any Grand Theft Auto game to date, with early designs calling for the inclusion of territories modeled after large swaths of North and South America. But in its current state, the main map has been cut down to a fictional version of Miami and its surrounding areas. If GTA 6 is going to be around for a long time, we definitely are going to need map expansions, but the article kind of makes it seem like the whole Project Americas thing has been scrapped. But something else that I found actually points to the fact that it's still going to happen. There was this modding project that brought Liberty City to GTA 5, updated graphics, more integral buildings, stuff like that, but Rockstar took it down immediately. Some believe that this is because of GTA 4 remasters in the works, but it's also possible that Liberty City could be added to GTA 6, and Rockstar didn't want to ruin the excitement. And I think this sounds pretty reasonable based on the fact that they were originally planning something like this. Now, to be fair, this is mostly just my speculation. However, imagine how crazy people would go if Nico returned in GTA 6, or even if we just got a little snippet of Liberty City. All in all, I could be completely wrong. I'm rarely optimistic about many things, especially in the video game industry, but with Rockstar, I just trust them, and historically, that has been the right thing to do. However, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to help me feed my family.